I feel your energy when I've read Napoleon Hill or Mark Twain, and even in my own writing, things like that.
Yeah.
How come some of the most prolific artists throughout the history of the world seem to be some of the most tortured people, like Vincent van Gogh or Kurt Cobain, people of that nature?
Because there were times in their life that they were not the most tortured people. There were times in their life when they touched and tasted the thrill and ecstasy of complete alignment, and then they couldn't bear it, that they couldn't maintain it. You can't taste that and not want it forevermore. And if you have not discovered what the path of least resistance is, you'd have to understand their time, how they were being seen, how they were seen. In other words, it's very difficult to get an accurate read on anybody that's not in your immediate vicinity. But when you know the laws of the universe, it's easy to understand what happened.
I guess there's like a fallacy or a flawed premise that if I'm too happy, then my music is going to suck or something like that.
This is a true thing, though. If you let yourself consistently be the joyous being that you are, that's the audience that will find you.
It's a lot more fun. I like writing happy songs. I don't like being...
Here's the question. Which is the biggest audience? That messes people up. They want to go where the money is. They want to go where the forsaken are, where the discouraged are, where the love gone bad is. Love's gone bad. First it wouldn't come, and then it came and it wouldn't stay. And then it went away. And then it came back, but then it went away, and then it came back, but it wouldn't stay. And then something else came, but it was just as bad as what had come before. And then it stayed. It wouldn't go away. And then I got mad. And then it got worse. And then I got a gun. And then it got way worse. And then I got away. But it didn't get better, because I took myself everywhere I went. That's a really good song. Write that one. Sounds like Bob Dylan. Not his message, just his delivery.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I get caught up sometimes in like, when I'm knee deep in contrast, that's when I'm most creative, but I can't take the path of least resistance simultaneously.
Here's the thing. You're going to hear something so important. So you lived life, that early life even that we're talking about, and you launched rockets of desire, and you've put things in your vortex that you can't even recognize. You catch glimpses of it, but you can't even recognize. There are songs, there are lyrics, there is magic, there is power, there's empowerment, there is future, there is profit, there is fame, there is abundance beyond description in your vortex. It's just there. So when you say, I have to be knee-deep in contrast to tap into da-da-da-da-da-da, we want to say, when you're knee-deep in contrast, you're not tapping into that. You're tapping into an energy stream. You're tapping into something. You're tapping into something that is a vibrational match. You're a vibrational match to something.
Is my asking bigger in that moment? Because
Yes.
the last great song I wrote, all the great songs I've ever written, they come to me like instantaneously.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is a download from the universe.
Yes, it is
I
like
feel
that.
like a spiritual catalyst.
Yes.
I don't know if it's you or my friends or all the non-physical.
It's way more than that.
Yeah. Because it's like, but that only seems to happen. How can I get there in the receptive mode? Or how can I still create without experiencing
Well, the
such
easiest way to
contrast?
get back into that receptive mode is to remember what it felt like when you were there. Looking for easy existing matches is the way to tune yourself to that frequency where that happens. But when you say you have to be knee-deep in contrast, you might have to be knee-deep in contrast to really give birth to an idea, but you don't start receiving the powerful, beautiful stuff when you're knee-deep in contrast.
No. It's like almost like a call and response or something like that. I don't know.
Well, it's because there's a step 1 and a step 2 and a step 3. And they're different steps. And you can't ask a question and really clarify. You know what brings a really, 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 really brilliant, wonderful, full, delicious answer to a forum like this or anywhere? A really, really strong, well-developed question. when you've been really searching and you're really asking and you're really reaching and you're really wanting, so that your question is really, really big, because every subject has two ends of the stick, what is wanted and the absence of what is wanted. And so in all of that yearning and seeking and striving, every minute that you're there, you are absolutely simultaneously giving birth to the other end of the stick. Your bandwidth just isn't at it yet. A wonderful woman said to us on one of the Abraham Now broadcasts one day, Abraham, sometimes it feels like when there is grief that it's the only thing in the room. And we said, we know it feels that way because that's where your tuner's sit. But when there's that kind of grief in the room, the opposite of that grief is in the room too. In fact, you gave birth to the other end of that stick. And so that's why it is not false that people who have had strong contrast in their life do magnificent art or magnificent stories or books or lyrics or whatever, because their life evoked strong asking from them. But at the same time, at exactly the same time, and exactly in the same increments, at exactly the same increments as their sucky life hurt them, the other end of it was created for them, and their inner being gave undivided attention to that and only to that. To that and only to that. So when you are a little kid that's 9 years old in the classroom of this magnificent woman who is just encouraging them to follow their bliss and be as happy as they can be, then whatever their life caused them to create, they've got more access to that. It's been revealed to all of you over and over and over again. But for you to realize it, you got to get your bandwidth in the vicinity of where what you're looking for is. And it's a gradual thing for most. Most of you have been trained to believe that it takes hard work and suffering and strife and sacrifice. There are people that don't even think very much of the present that you give them unless you suffered to make it possible. This gift doesn't have enough suffering in it for me. Seemed too easy. So when you really get it, that it's just you and you, always has been, always will be, but the you is so much more than the you that you know is you. There's that non-physical you that has been there every step of the way. And every time you ask for a little more, that's where your inner being looked. And every time you ask for a little more, that's where your inner being looks. Until who you are, the vibrational beingness of who you are, the vortex version of who you are, is so magnificent and substantial. But few humans are very close in the proximity of it. When you meditate and feel like that, you're right there. When you are going and blowing with your music, you're right there. In other words, you know when you're there and when you're not there. You felt the shift even sitting here in this chair. Mm-hmm. The question evolved into something wonderful, and now you're in tune with the answer to the question that you didn't even know how to articulate. But because the question was so strong within you, then the answer could be heard by you, and that's why you chose a sucky life early on. That's why.
Fair enough.
That's why. More?
No, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, you've had such a profound impact on my life, and I don't know if I'd still be here if it wasn't for you. So just want to let you know I love you very much.
You know what our relationship is? Our relationship is we hang around with your inner being. So we know about you what your inner being knows about you. You don't need us, but you can't get rid of us. Your inner being connects you with everything that is like that which you are, you see. If you had not found it in this way, it is our absolute knowing you would have found it some way, because the intensity of who you are doesn't make anything else make sense. But we're happy we got to play.
Me too.
And we look forward to more playing. Yeah.